Hi, Interior Design Show. I'm Priscilla. I'm one of the founders of the Stylish Friend Interior Design Studio. We are here at one of our properties in Holland Park. Follow me and I'll give you a tour. So this is one of my favorite areas in the entire flat. And the reason why is I love our combination of colors that we used. It's quite soothing, yet quite unique. So one of the features of Holland Park flats, as mentioned before, are these gorgeous wraparound bay windows. And we wanted to accentuate it by adding a little seating area that's very private to the master bedroom. This particular door, it isn't storage. So let me show you what it is. So before we go inside the flat, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Holland Park, which is in West London, and it's a beautiful neighborhood that a lot of people actually covet to live in. So if you walk down these streets, they're often very wide and tree-lined, creating a real sense of privacy, and you often don't know that you're in the center of West London. The properties in Holland Park are inspired by Italian villas. So some of the key characteristics that you're going to see in these Holland Park flats is large bay windows that wrap around the front, often letting a lot of natural light in, very high ceilings, as well as some private large garden plots. This property is listed for $4.5 million, and I'm happy to give you a tour, so come inside. So as you enter this entryway, the first thing you're going to notice are the stunning bronze arched glass doorways that frame both the entrance into the bedrooms as well as into the main living area. Here you're going to notice the detailing that's on the floor with this gorgeous sort of chocolate brown inlay, as well as the beginning of an accent of paneling. You'll notice that we've kept some of the architectural details that are very significant with this listed property, being, if you view up, the gorgeous coving details and all the little details that are involved with the lighting, such as the bronze details that we actually keep consistent throughout the property. Now let me show you a living room and the open plan spaces. So when the developer originally acquired this listed property, the entire space was divided into compartments, and he really loves the natural light that's really showcased in the front and the back of the property. So as designers, our task was to create an open plan design, allowing that natural light to really lend itself to the functionality of the space. So here we have our dining area. It's a great space that sort of feeds into also the kitchen. You can sort of be cooking while you're entertaining and serving food. And then you can walk through the rest of the space and really feel like you can go between different functions quite seamlessly. So one thing you're going to notice is this little detail that we added. We basically moved the coving of these gorgeous windows, which are often a characteristic of Holland Park flats. We moved the coving up and hid the drapery track within it, and then complemented it with an LED lighting strip, which I think creates a really nice ambiance, especially in the evening. For the walls, and I talk about this all the time, even on the Stylish Friend, is adding custom paneling to the walls. And this can be something where you can add custom paneling with your contractor, but you can also do it in a more affordable way by applying molding. And this really elevates a space. It can be done in any space, but in this particular flat, what it does is accentuates and allows the rest of the details to sort of come forward and stand out on their own. So as you come into this open plan kitchen, one of the things I'll bring to your attention is the fact that when you work with developers, there's often a very sort of tight budget. And you as designers have to find a way to allocate that budget on things that you want to splurge on and things you want to cut back on. One of the things that we splurged on was the kitchen. This large island was something we felt that every client or family would want. And the best part about it, and something that every London flat needs, is extra storage. So we've actually added extra storage to right under where the counter stools are for things that you may not necessarily use all the time, but need a space for. The kitchen really centers around this island, which we did in a leathered finish, as opposed to like a polished marble. We just felt like it was a little bit more interesting and much more durable. We work with an incredible joiner in this kitchen who gave us extra deep drawers, soft clothes, as well as the beautiful bronze fluted glass cabinetry. And for us, that was really important because we wanted the kitchen to not only be elevated, but also functional, which I think we achieved. So in addition to the under counter storage, we also have these very deep pull-out drawers, and we thought the wood veneer would be really special if we continued along the opposite side of the island. We've seen obviously a lot of waterfall islands, but here we wanted the darkness of the wood to really stand out against the color palette that we used in the design scheme. So this is one of my favorite areas in the entire flat. And the reason why is I love our combination of colors that we used. It's quite soothing, yet quite unique. So one of the really nice details is the working fireplace, which is really nice to enjoy, especially in those colder months. But when you come into this living room space, what's great about it is it lends itself to entertaining 8 to 10 people. Plus you can have your private moments with a little bay window seating area we've created to highlight the gorgeous garden that is below. The joinery details that we use in this space are really a function of our great team, and he helped us really bring in the dark colored wood as an accent piece, but allow the joinery to sort of blend in with the paneling that we've used throughout the rest of the property. The pieces that we selected for this design are ones that really range. We've done some custom lounge chairs here with Delacona pillows. We've also added some really affordable glass coffee tables from Andrew Martin, and we've done a real mix of high and low, which I think is very important and something that all clients want when they're designing their home. So here we come into the main entry hallway. Every time I enter this space, I think of one more detail I've missed. Here, we definitely carried out the finishes that we use in this main entryway throughout the entire property. It creates a really nice fluidity. So whenever I come into a small space or I design a small space, I always try to find ways to add details to the wall, to the floor, and to the general items that are in the space. I like to accessorize with a lot of decorative accessories to just make it a little bit more interesting. All the items in this space are all loose. We didn't do any fitted joinery because we really wanted the paneling to stand out. We used vendors that were predominantly to trade but accented with a lot of retail vendors such as Andrew Martin, and styled it out with a lot of decorative accessories as well as some great paintings on the wall and a faux plant. I think a level of greenery in any space adds a level of warmth and coziness. And the particular feature of this office that's really great is the window. It provides so much natural light, and when you are working in here, it's really nice to feel like you're connected to the outdoor world. So here we are in the main hallway that takes you to all the bedrooms. I'm going to leave the master suite for last, but I will show you the guest bathroom and bedroom. This is one of my favorite guest bathrooms that we've designed. And the reason I say that is because it's often rare to find a master bath that sort of mimics, in terms of shower size, the same as the guest bathroom. And here we've created a very large spaced shower. We've done an enclosed recessed niche with brass detailing along the edges. We've also used, and I mentioned this as we were walking through the spaces, these bronze details. We've kept it consistent throughout the entire space. It really provides a connectivity in terms of the design aesthetic. So in this space, what we tried to cut back on costs there, we used a retail vanity. And for us, we focused on marble effect porcelain tiles. We accented with great, beautiful sconces that added a little bit more dimension and character, and we really brought it to life with some of the accessories. For us, obviously, storage is important, so even in using retail vanities that may not have complete storage top and bottom, we added baskets to the bottom so you can store some extra things that you have. We've now left the guest bathroom and we're in the main hallway heading to the guest bedroom. One of the details I forgot to talk about were the layers of lighting that interior designers love to add. We've added ambient lighting to the ceiling, and we've also added up-down lighting sconces throughout the whole space, and you're gonna see more in the guest bedroom. Come along. So as we come into the guest bedroom, one thing I want to point out is with joinery, it's really nice to create some dimension. And the way I do that is sometimes combining closed cabinetry with open shelving, which I've done here, and added the wood and its particular shade as a really great way to make it pop and have a feature wall for either decorative accessories or functional items such as shoes or purses. So the design for the space, I really wanted to focus on a more functional aspect. I wanted a vanity for any guest or person to use this space and have a tabletop to put their laptop, to do their makeup and hair, whatever the case may be. So adding this really was purposeful in the design intent. The joinery, as mentioned before, is something that we really focused on in terms of especially the finishes. We used a vinyl wallpaper, so it's sort of free of grease and handprints, and we allowed ourselves this really deep set hanging rod and deep drawers so that the storage really felt very purposeful in this space. So we added to this space a sizable king-size bed as well as side tables for storage. We used blue as our accent color to make the room pop a little bit more, but mostly I wanted to draw your attention to the way we style the bed. Even in the most simplest of settings, you can really elevate your bed scheme by adding extra pillows and the positioning of how you fold over your duvet. All of those details and a bed styling video is on the Stylish Blend. So outside of the guest bedroom is the powder bathroom, or WC. And here we really went away from our subtle color palette that we used throughout the rest of the flat. We wanted it to have a little bit more character, so we added a very deep toned blue-green. We kept the paneling consistent as it exists also in the hallway right outside the powder bathroom. And we accentuated it with certain design details such as this beautiful bespoke marble sink, as well as a back countertop also done in marble. We added some decorative accessories to that window frame from Zara, from H&M, very affordable and very approachable in terms of the design aesthetic that's within the WC. So now we've finally arrived at the master bedroom. It's one of my favorite rooms in the house, and I'll tell you why. The joinery in this space is quite unique. We've added fluting detail to the bottom, sort of lower bottom half of the paneling, just to sort of give it some character and some dimension. It also breaks up visually what you're looking at when you're staring, for example, at closets, which are very common in London. So whenever you come into a master bedroom, your eye is often drawn to how an interior designer dresses the bed. And at the Stylish Blend, we really believe in high and low styling. So what we did is we used a Zara home quilt, a end bench with a Marcus and Doth throw on it. We accessorized it with a coffee table book to add a little color, a little character, but we did splurge on the throw pillows, which are from Laura Hammett. The secret to this bed, though, and the thing that I'm most proud of, is the bedding, which is from Marks & Spencer. For us, going to sleep is really important. It's important to be comfortable, but it's also important that when you leave your bed and you have this incredible view of natural light, that you still feel like when you come home at the end of the day, it's going to be elevated. So one of the features of Holland Park flats, as mentioned before, are these gorgeous wraparound bay windows, and we wanted to accentuate it by adding a little seating area that's very private to the master bedroom. It's something that we did not do in the guest bedroom, so it's sort of a unique characteristic and very specific to the master. We added 2 very simple lounge chairs and some faux greenery to really create a warmth and coziness, so even if you weren't sleeping, you felt like there was another space of which you can have some downtime in your bedroom. So the design intent with the joinery was to really have the joinery blend in with the paneling that's throughout the rest of the flat, but also to add a little bit of detail to make it stand out. For example, we've added these gorgeous fluted panels to the front to just give it a little bit more character. We added long brass handles to elongate the length and the visual aesthetic appeal of the door itself. And then we added storage, short hanging, long hanging, extra storage at the top. You know, in London, we can never have enough storage. But as you come along this side, which wraps around with the joinery accented with open shelving in wood at the end, this particular door, it isn't storage. So let me show you what it is. And so here we are in the master ensuite. What's special about this master ensuite is really from an interior design perspective. We managed the budget by using large format porcelain tiles in this space to mimic a gold Carrera, but we splurged on the shower doors and toilet enclosure using brass inlay with fluted panel doors, and it really gave this sense of elevation to the master ensuite, which it deserves. The way we made this bathroom seem a little bit more luxurious but affordable is we did add a retail vanity. Still has a lot of storage, still is completely functional, and we added LED oval mirrors to each of the sinks so that you had full lighting and layered lighting throughout the entire bathroom. We added large format marble and porcelain tiles to the floors, the interior of the shower and the toilet, as well as the half wall. We complemented it with brass detailing, not only on the towel rods, but also on all the fixtures and sanitary ware throughout the bathroom. And we wanted to add a little luxury for our clients, so we added a standing tub as a little extra feature. Thank you so much for coming on this tour with me. All information about this slat will be listed in the description below. And if you're interested in interior design services, please don't hesitate to contact the Stylish Friend. I'll see you soon.
Hello, Interior Design Show. I'm Anant Ramaswamy, and welcome to my apartment in Kennington, London. Styling shelves, a bit of a dark art. I can't say I always get it right.